Well, after we first brought this topic out in the open, most of the emails that we received were from people who thought that we should have included an atheist in our discussion. So now we're going to turn to one of the world's most prominent atheists. Richard Dawkins is an Oxford University professor whose bestseller sparked worldwide controversy. The God Delusion argues that belief in God is not only irrational, but it can be deadly. Paula spoke with him just a couple of days ago.
Why are you an atheist?
Why don't you believe in Thor? Why don't you believe in Zeus? Nobody believes in most of the things that you could believe in. You're an atheist with respect to the flying spaghetti monster. I'm an atheist with respect to the Judeo-Christian God because there is not a shred of evidence in favor of the Judeo-Christian God, or indeed any other God.
It strikes me that the atheist message is particularly threatening to some Christians because they believe in some way you're trying to compromise their ability to have this stuff out there on the public stage. Is there any public role, as far as you're concerned, for religion?
I think people should be free to believe whatever they like, to write whatever they like, to say whatever they like within reason. But the problem is that religious people, I think especially in America and also in the Islamic world, are in the habit of getting it all their own way and are remarkably intolerant of atheists.
But why do you think they're so remarkably intolerant of atheists?
Well, I think there's a sort of historic misunderstanding of what atheism is. For some reason, people have been brought up to believe that atheists have two horns and a tail. I mean, there are figures that show that atheists are the most mistrusted group in America, which is pretty astonishing considering, as I say, the innocuousness of what they actually are. They're just people who hold a different belief system.
Certainly you have encountered people, though, who are intimidated by your message, and that in some way it puts perhaps their own faith in doubt?
Well, why would anybody be intimidated by mere words? I mean, neither I nor any other atheist that I know ever threatens violence. We never threaten to fly planes into skyscrapers. We never threaten suicide bombs. We're very gentle people. All we do is use words to talk about things like the cosmos, the origin of the universe, evolution, the origin of life. What's there to be frightened of in just an opinion?
Final question. How would you characterize the overarching public reaction to atheism?
Misunderstanding and really missing an awful lot of what's valuable, because if you're an atheist, you know, you believe this is the only life you're going to get. It's a precious life, it's a beautiful life, it's something that we should live to the full, to the end of our days. Whereas if you're religious and you believe that there's another life somehow, that means you don't live this life to the full because you think you're going to get another one. That's an awfully negative way to live a life. Being an atheist frees you up to live this life properly, happily and fully.
Richard Dawkins, we really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Right, so welcome to Sigma Student Alliance. I am Andrew Langman, and I am an enemy of religion, and I'm also Jew. I found this political cartoon. This is obviously supposed to represent secularism. We have the First Amendment, which explicitly outlines a secular country, saying Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. And then we have cases all over the country where people try to get religion into the public square, and they use the school prayer as an example here. There's no way you can spin it. You can argue that the majority of us are Christians in America. You can argue that some of the framers were Christian, but this is irrefutable. They outlined a secular country. Alright, so, who are we so far? So, just to start, group teacher advisor. He teaches financial literacy and algebra 2 trait honors. And AB calculus. And he's also the teacher for the Math Honor Society?
Yes.
Yes.
And CPL too.
Okay, so I am your acting president until we can hold official elections. I will be stepping as the acting president. I'm the junior. I'm Andrew, by the way, from this side. And then there's you, secularist, atheist, agnostic, humanist, and the one thing I forgot to leave in were the religious people that are friendly to atheists, because if you are happen to be religious but are friendly to atheists, you are of course welcome to join. And so every week there should be a certain topic that I will present to you pretty briefly. This week is kind of an introductory week, so we're going to be going over the common terminology that's used in religious discussion and debate, because we need to understand the terminology going forward. So there's going to be a few of these. Just feel free to shout out what the words mean when you see them. Anyone? Okay, secularism is usually refers to the separation of church and state, which even simpler is the separation of religion from the government or the public square, or as Google defines it, the attitude that religion should have no place in public affairs. Atheism. Yes.
A person who believes that there is no God, or that there's very little, or believes that it's very highly improbable that there is a God.
Okay, well, we're on the right track. Yeah.
It's a lack of belief.
That's a lot closer. Yeah. Free thinking. Sure. So these are all pretty correct. I liked name.
Nick.
Nick. I like Nick's response. That's not to say that either of you guys are wrong. Atheism is the lack of belief in a deity or deities, or the definition I like to use best is it's the position that a claim that a god or deity exists has not met its burden of proof. And was agnostic. Yeah.
It's the person who doesn't believe that there is a God, doesn't believe there isn't a God. He or she is kind of described as why ask the question if we can't really prove it either which way.
Right. What's your name, by the way?
Spencer.
Spencer.
I'd kind of like to add on that agnosticism is more of a modifier to atheism or theism.
Absolutely. Yes. So, common misperception is that agnosticism is like the middle of the road between belief and non-belief, which is kind of right, but it's more describing what you know. An agnostic claims that he does not know anything, he or she does not know anything about God or gods. The simplest way I've heard this explained is theism is what you believe, and Gnosticism is what you know. So I happen to take the stance of an agnostic atheist. I have a lack of belief in a God, and I do not claim that I know he doesn't exist, but I do not know. So it's just questionable. You can have agnostic theists, you can have agnostic atheists. Okay. So, religion. Okay, I have defined it's the belief in and worship of a superhuman power. So, a god or deity or anything superhuman. Yeah. Gnosticism. Anyone? Okay. Gnosticism is the attempt to convert someone to your own religion, using words or sometimes even using force, which is highly frowned upon, of course. And then evangelism. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, spreading the word of religion.
Yes, and specifically
Christianity.
Christianity. Right. So evangelism is proselytizing Christianity. Yeah, there's just a special name for that because it's so common when we get those people knocking on our doorstep. Those are evangelists. Usually. Okay, activism. Okay, I have it as efforts to promote, impede, or direct social, political, economic, or environmental change. So in this case, it would be kind of political and also social. Skepticism.
That's yeah, to doubt in something when there's little evidence or no evidence.
Yep.
Just actually doubting it.
Doubt about the truth of the claim. Exactly. And free thought.
Rethinking.
What?
Rethinking.
Right. Exactly. Philosophical viewpoint that holds that opinions should be formed on the basis of logic, reason, and empiricism, and not authority, tradition, or other dogmas. Anyone? Pretty simple. Yes, Nick.
Belief in a deity.
Yep. At least one or more. Apologetics. This is one we're going to run into a lot. Yeah. Sure. So, an apologetic is a defender of belief. Apologetics is defending the position. It doesn't necessarily have to be religious, but we're going to see it mostly in religious contexts. And they try to do so with logic and reason and evidence. And anti-theism. Yeah.
Does this mean against religious as a whole?
Yes. It is against the institution of religion, not religious people. And I need to be very clear on that. Anti-theism is against the institution of religion, the church, or temples, but not against religious people explicitly, sometimes. This is the last slide. Morality? Yeah.
Basically define guidelines of what is right and wrong.
Yep. Does everyone get that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Differentiation of intentions, decisions, and actions between those that are good or right and those that are bad. This is probably the most common argument for religion is that it provides a strong moral backbone. Yeah, we're going to be dissecting that a lot. Deism? Yeah.
Deists, they believe that there was a creator of the universe, but it's kind of a hands-off, laissez-faire
Right.
dealer.
If any of you guys are in world history or world history, I think Mr. Yoakum referred to as the
Clockmaker.
watchmaker. Watchmaker, you said that?
It's a clockmaker.
Yeah, the clock or watchmaker. Yeah, so basically there's a force or superhuman entity that created maybe even the universe as broad as that, and then everything after that, science and everything took over after that. And God. Yeah.
Some superhuman entity or person, or he or she, I like to think of it as her, who watches over, listens to people's prayers, and has direct, contact into people's lives depending on its variations of God.
Yeah. That's kind of specific. That a God could answer to your prayer, or maybe couldn't. It depends on how you find. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a generic term for either an all-powerful or semi-powerful.
Yeah. I have it here as the principal object of faiths. So it's usually the thing that people are worshiping. Okay, and I think that does it for that. Okay. Cool. So that was probably going to be the most boring topic ever in public. But we went through pretty fast. Okay, so our goals here. For secular humanism in North American community. What is secular humanism? No. Oh, yeah.
Is it like valuing of like human life, I guess, and promoting like I guess morality without a religious overtone?
Right. You put the two parts together there. So it's without religion, secular. Humanism is the set of beliefs that regard the well-being of people as the moral standard.
Alex Westling, please come to the athletic office. Alex Westling, please come to the athletic office. Thank you.
So, humanist believes that the most moral actions usually promote the least amount of suffering for people, or promote the most amount of happiness and joy. Okay, promote critical thinking. Anyone want to try to define what critical thinking is? Yeah.
The use of logic and reason in the thought process.
Yeah, critical thinking, it combines skepticism with empiricism, basically doubting things, skepticism, and then basing your thought process on the evidence and reason. Alright, so we're going to try to eliminate the stigma placed on atheists by the church by promoting positive atheism in the North American community. Anyone want to break that down? Because that's a lot. Yeah.
Well, there's multiple websites that will tell you many stories of if you tell somebody you're an atheist or if you tell somebody you don't believe in God, that they'll discriminate you in some way, and it's very true. Many of you, probably sophomores or even freshmen or juniors, when you go out into the job world, they don't want to know about your religion because it's very hard to like get over that stigma, and atheists have this huge stigma, especially in America, that we're this deceiving people, and I don't know how to get over it as much by like the first thing that came to my mind was wearing a shirt that says atheist and going around doing good deeds and doing that, but it's probably a hard goal to come over.
Yeah, as you saw Richard Dawkins in the movie, atheists are the least trusted group in America, unfortunately. And there is, in my opinion, no reason for that statistic. We are good people, and we are going to promote positive atheism by promoting kindness and caring in community. What do I mean by positive atheism? Yeah.
It's the kind of atheism isn't. It's like if atheism is Christianity, then positive atheism would be like not the Westboro Baptist Church, basically. Like they're atheists who don't try to go around trying to like turn everyone they know into atheists and like say, oh, you're a Christian, you're a bad person, how could you believe that? Like kind of have to tell people what you are, but then not push it onto them.
Sure. Yeah.
How many of you have, well, we were all in 5th grade and we all loved Dane Cook at one point in our lives, and he does this very interesting bit about an atheist sneezing, and it's kind of funny if you think about that now, how people will make fun of you, and there's definitely a different level of positive atheism. I think it's just having it being like a little personal thing and just helping people, where there's some atheists, and I know a lot of atheists who are like that, who are like, oh, you're Christian, you're stupid, like that kind of atheism. I think positive atheism should be just helping people and not so much like forcing it upon them, just letting them be like, yeah, I'm atheist, I'm still going to help you.
By the way, we will have a week on religious syntax and like sayings like bless you. I personally, when someone says bless you to me when I smile and nod. I do not thank them. I smile and nod. Sure. So there is a very large community of atheists who go around basically proselytizing their atheism and saying why their religion is bad and why atheism is preferable to religion. I do that to a certain degree, but in the right context, you can't. There's a line between going around and wearing it like it's a symbol of like pride. I mean, it's. Let me see how. Do not be negative against theists is the general message I'm trying to get across. Yeah.
You're going to say, like, don't be egotistical about your atheism necessarily, and impose, because if you're an atheist and you try and impose your, I guess, disbelief on others, it's only the same thing as trying to impose belief on other people.
Yeah, Nick,
I was just going to say, it's without the sense of superiority that sometimes comes, like, other people don't just get it yet, and that's that sense of like superiority and that you are so much, you're wise into it is something you should kind of try to avoid by just, you want to like welcome people to the idea. You don't want to like shut people out because you think they're stupid or anything. That's negative and that's totally counterproductive.
And sometimes it does get frustrating trying to explain your position when the people you're talking to have this presupposition that you're evil and that you're trying to destroy the world and that nothing you do is good and you're going to hell. So it does get frustrating to a point, but you do have to keep your cool and you have to present your case as objectively as possible, and you can't insult them and let them insult you and look like a better person. So, trying to support the community for the secondary students and teachers at North. So here's our community so far. A goal I have is to provide a community for people that are struggling with their faith. Provide somewhere where they can go and ask questions. Have people there to support them if maybe there's familial or social if there are familial or social pressures to stay in a certain church. We're here for them, yeah. Are we going to do icebreakers? Yes. Okay. And provide an open forum for discussion about specific beliefs and attempts to see truth. We will be holding debates here, so encourage your religious friends to come. I already see a lot of people here. Encourage them to come and present their points with an open mind, just as we will have an open mind too. Okay, and then this is logistics. You can do this. We're going to meet till 3:15. Right now, we might be moving to Wednesday, so more people can come because of late bus. But more information on that will come. So each meeting, I'll have announcements if there are anything, or the president will have announcements. The president should present a topic, just as I did terminology this week. Then we'll have the floor open to rebuttals and open discussion amongst ourselves. And then we'll have future and ongoing campaigns like fundraisers and charity events for secular causes. And then any, obviously, questions, feedback, or debate, and further debate is always welcome. And then internet. My goal is to stay connected online during the week. Social media interactions helps us stay active and enthusiastic about things. So we're going to be filming, as you can see, each meeting and post them on YouTube. So people that can't make it or want to make it but have commitments can watch the meetings, and I encourage you guys to post a video response with your thoughts, because we all have opinions that we want to express, and if you can't be there, then post them online. Like the Facebook page is a Facebook page for the Secular Student Alliance, and then once we get off the ground with the elections and writing a constitution, there will be a Facebook group where we can even further discuss things, so we'll all be involved in that. And then there's also a Twitter account where the president will be just tweeting out messages throughout the week to also keep us active. Okay, so we will be having a formal presentation next week on, I think the biggest topic in here, is religion a force for good or evil? What questions keep in mind? What is the good that comes out of religion? Is there any reason to be against faith or religion? So, prepare your points if you are looking to speak in front of everyone, or I will have formal presentations like this open for the first part of it, and then the floor will be open for everyone to talk, and invite anyone to come. Yeah.
Don't be shy to get to.
Oh yeah. Yes. Next week also is encouraged. Yes. Next week we will also be running. Actually, during this week we'll have elections online for officer positions. So there's a president spot, vice president, secretary, and historian, the same person. Which I've already kind of appointed Calvin to that. Who's going to be filming things and putting them on YouTube. And then there's the treasurer for our campaigns and fundraisers. So there are spots open for president, vice president, and treasurer. So what you need to do is like the Facebook page, and then message me if you want to fill any of those roles. There will be a poll up on the Facebook page during the week, and I guess polls will close by next meeting, and we'll have the winners up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do some icebreakers. Get to know each other. Wait, do you have a question that we should all answer?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I think we should go around, say your names, say what we like, and it has to start with the letter of my first name. First letter of my first name. Like Calvin likes candy, and then say our current religion.
Religion.
Yeah.
Sure, and if you want to include why you're here, then feel welcome to. So let's start with Anthony.
Me first. I'm Anthony. I like apples. I am a Satanist, and I came here to promote the understanding of atheism in our community.
Sure. And why don't you explain which sect of Satanism?
Levian Satanism, so it is more of a philosophy rather than devil worship.
Great. So would you describe it as an atheistic?
I'm an atheistic Satanist, yes.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I like marshmallows, and I really don't know what I am because I've been Catholic for most of my life. So recently, atheism is kind of exploring. Okay, you know what I'm doing yet.
Hi, I'm Jake. I like jack-o'-lanterns. I'm a Christian. I just figured I'd come by and just see what this is about.
I'm Sarah. I like strawberries, and I'm also Christian, but I think for Satanism.
Graham. I like green stuff. I'm a pantheist.
I'm Spencer. I like snowboarding. Not really, but I am a Tibetan Buddhist and more leaning towards atheism overall. Yeah. And I came here because I had a Friday free, which is very sad, and I was really curious.
What's your name again?
I'm Graham.
Graham. So we will be having a week on certain deistic or atheistic churches, and pantheism will be included in that.
Oh, okay,
so,
good.
Yeah, of course that. Are you here?
I did come to listen.
Oh, okay. So
My name's Matt. I'm Catholic. I don't know what I like. Monkeys, I guess. I just came to see what you guys were seeing, see what your point of view is.
Because he likes imaginary numbers.
I don't like imaginary numbers.
I'm Laura, and I like lollipops. I'm an atheist, and I came here to also promote atheism and to meet other like-minded people.
I'm Kyle. I guess I like koalas. There's not that much else to say. But I'm an agnostic atheist, and I came here to like meet people, I guess.
Hey, over again. I'm Andrew. I'm an agnostic atheist and anti-theist, and I like Anton Bruckner, who is a 19th century orchestral composer.
Frank Ford, call extension 6241. 6421. Frank Ford, 6241.
I'm Brady. I like band, and I consider myself an atheist.
I'm Iris. I like iguanas, and I was raised a Muslim, but now I'm not sure what I am.
I'm Calvin. I like children. Age
Bring your hands where you say that you like children.
Like resident material.
Frank Ford, please call extension 6421. 6421. Thank you.
Anyway, I'm Ty. I like twerking. No. And I'm an atheist, and I came here because I'm one of those few people who wasn't raised as any religion. Like, my parents didn't try and force anything on me. I've never, like, attended any religious ceremonies and stuff, and I just wanted to, came here to partially promote atheism, but also get a view of what other people believe and stuff.
I'm Angela. I like art. And I guess I'm an atheist, so I came over here because I was curious.
Hi. I'm Nick. I like Neil Peart. And raised Catholic and converted, well, not really converted, but now I'm an agnostic atheist for about a year.
I'm Sam. I like sleeping, and I'm a Catholic, but I sort of lean towards deism as a philosophy, and I'm also not in any way against atheism. So, like as you said, I came out to sort of support this group.
I'm Hannah, and I like Honey Bunches of Oats, and I'm Jewish, and I support atheism and agnosticism and stuff like that.
That's a pretty good cereal.
I know, right?
It's so good.
Yeah,
It's crunchy, and you get the granola.
I know. Someone finally understands.
I like jam. You can't like jam. Say something.
Okay, I'm Jenna, and I don't like jam.
Good.
We're positive here. What do you like?
Jellyfish.
Sure. The way they say people, I like jumping.
Jumping off bridges.
Okay.
Here's
I'm not really sure. I was raised Protestant, but now it's just kind of like I have like friends for atheists, agnostic, Christian, pretty much everything. So we're just gonna try to do that. And I came today to Andrew was promoting my class, and I wanted to do that.
I'm Hyundai. I do like gym. I'm Anglican actually, but I have been leaning towards agnosticism a bit more recently now that I like
kind of know more about what religion is about. And I came here partly because Andrew asked a bunch of people to come here, so I came. And also because I want to see this club like get off the ground. It's a really good idea. So everyone bring your friends.
I'm Andrew. I'm a Christian. I like algebra 2 with Mr. Sword. I came here because I was talking to Andrew about it, and one, I wanted to help him out. Two, it sounded pretty interesting, just to get everyone's point of views on stuff.
I'm just gonna flirt a little bit with Andrew. Andrew's like.
Wait, what?
Andrew's like one of the smartest and brightest people I know, and also one of the nicest people I know who happens to be a Christian. Correct?
He's a father.
So, what?
He's a father.
He's on good at history, so I can remember stories. That's
Right.
why.
So I really want you to be here and present your points.
I'm Mr. Sword. I like spaghetti, and I thought it was important that we have a group like this. When Andrew approached me about it, at first I was a little wary about the controversy it might cause, but then I thought, you know what? There's so many religious groups around here. We need this kind of group just so we have a voice. And I was raised Protestant, Methodist. My wife is Catholic, and she's raising our kids Catholic. I told her if she wants to have a religion, it's on her because I'm an atheist. So she's taking care of all the religion. I'm allowing her to do that because I want the kids to understand religion and then make their own choice in the world. So already my daughter, who's a freshman at Central, she's questioning her religion. So my wife's not happy about that happening. What?
So teaching them more how to think and not what to think.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Zach. I like zebras, and I was raised Catholic, but after my confirmation, my parents allowed me to kind of question what I believe, so I'd say now I'm an agnostic atheist.
I'm Riley. I like running. I'm here because, well, I thought it was a good idea. I've met most of my friends are like atheists, and I like to think of myself as living proof that logic and some of the things that define atheism can live together with Catholicism and work. So I'm Catholic.
I'm Ryan. I like railroads. I was raised Catholic. Again, like Zach, allowed to experiment with different religions, if that sounds appropriate. But yeah, I'm here just to see everybody's viewpoint and all that, participate, whatnot. Yeah. More of an atheist, agnostic atheist.
So first name and something like that starts with the first letter of your first name.
Okay.
Then your religion and optionally why you're here.
Okay.
We're pretty much done.
Oh, darn. Is this a regular thing, or is this like?
Yeah.
My name's Olivia. I guess I like octopuses. I think I'm an agnostic, so I don't have like the religion, and I'm here because it sounded really interesting, and I wanted to see.
Yep. Okay, so we're doing your first name, something you like that starts with the first letter of your first name, and then your religious background if you feel comfortable sharing it, and why you're here. What's your answer?
Oh, okay. My name's Ben. Well, I like a lot of things that start with the B. Probably the first one that comes to mind is bananas. I like bananas. What was the other question? My religious background? Is that right after that? I'm Christian. And I came here because I heard Jake was here. So I wanted to see what he was being part of today.
I'm Tori. I like turtles. I am a Christian, and I came because I'm driving them home.
Are you guys coming from Shore Park?
Yeah, I'm coming from Shore Park. She's coming from Mass. So if it's a regular thing, I'll probably be catching the butt end of it. But
okay. Well, for next week, again, we have to go now. But we're going to be announcing the winners from the polls, which are on the Secular Student Alliance page on Facebook. So vote, cast your vote during the week, and also private message me if you want a leadership position. Also, there will be an open debate. Is religion a force for good or evil? I think this is the most important question that we will cover in here. I will be hitting hard, so prepare if you would like to. I think you guys know which side I stand on. If you guys would like to prepare your points against me, which is that religion is good, then private message me to set that up because your views are welcome and encouraged. Yeah.
Is anybody here allergic to peanuts? Okay, we'll figure something out.
Yes. Yeah, this is an open community, so everyone bring food next time, and we'll share it. Okay.
It's Good Fridays, at least for the next 2 weeks, and then we might put
Hey, never.
Sorry, I'm messing with you.